another 5-minute mystery.
That was a great show, Pete.
$5.50 a seat, it better be.
There you go, talking about money again.
Why not? If I had it, we'd be married by now.
Well, we cannot wait for my uncle to die to get his estate.
I'm sorry, Margaret. No bank account, no marriage.
Pete, if I got some money, will you do as I ask?
Maybe. But how are you going to get your hands on money?
Never mind. I'll get it.
Hey there, Miss Talbot. Sounds kind of grim to me. What are you going to do?
Get a dowry for my marriage.
Hello, this is Graham.
Mr. Graham, this is Inspector Todd, police.
Police? What's the matter?
I'll have to ask you to come down to my office at headquarters. Your fiance's uncle's been killed in an automobile wreck.
Oh, good heavens. Of course, I'll be right down.
Pete! Oh, Pete! Oh, it's horrible! Uncle Mike, dead!
Oh, I know. Now, please, Margaret, stop crying.
I'm Inspector Todd, Mr. Graham. Would you have a chair, please?
Thank you.
Now, about the wreck. I've already told you about the car going off a cliff.
I knew something would happen to him with that new English car of his. He was just learning how to drive it, too.
Well, we have evidence that points to murder, Miss Talbot.
Oh.
Not an accident.
Murder?
Yes. Our investigation proves that the steering wheel of the car was tampered with. The wheel broke on a treacherous stretch of road about a mile from your house, Miss Talbot. It was a clever scheme.
A completely fiendish scheme.
No, I agree. Miss Talbot, I'd very much like to question Mr. Graham alone. Would you wait outside for a moment, please?
Of course.
I'll put my cards on the table, Mr. Graham. I believe your fiance killed her uncle by fixing that wheel.
She couldn't have done that. She's innocent, I tell you.
Well, why are you so certain?
Because I loosened the wheel.
You?
I did it, yeah. I decided to do it last night. We were sitting in the car in the garage, and we were talking about our future, and pretty soon I had my arm around Margaret, and I thought how swell it would be if we could just get her uncle's money and get married.
Which arm did you put around her?
Which arm? The right one, of course. What else when I'm sitting at the wheel? And then after I took her to her home, I came back and I did it. Now, please let Margaret go home.
I'm afraid I can't do that. Your imaginary confession, despite its nobility, completely absolves you of the crime. Your fiancé tampered with that wheel, not you. And I'm holding her for murder.
What slip did Pete Graham make in his confession to Inspector Todd? In a moment we'll know, but first a word from our sponsor. Don't be a square. Try Ting, the faster way to clear up pimples. Doctors have found that Ting medicated cream dries up pimples faster than any other product tested. Boys and girls have overactive oil glands, and Ting mops up excess oil faster than any other medication. Don't let externally caused pimples ruin your fun. Try Ping today. And now, back to our story.
Your confession fell apart completely, Mr. Graham, when you told me you had placed your right arm around her while you were at the wheel. Since the uncle's car was of an English make, which Miss Talbot pointed out, the steering wheel is at the right of the car, making the arm position which you described impossible. No, Mr. Graham, your motive gives you credit much more so than your storytelling. I wanted you to convince me of a few details. Your confession proved your innocence and her guilt.
This has been another 5-minute mystery on KCAL. It's time for another 5-Minute Mystery.
Now, Sheriff, just one more question and my interview will be finished.
Okay. Well, that paper of yours sure wants to know everything.
What one thing in particular do you think is responsible for your excellent record in solving crimes?
Observation. Keen observation.
Ah.
You can pick up a wealth of information from hearing and remembering seemingly unimportant things. Well, I remember one time... excuse me.
Sure.
Sheriff Crowley speaking. Yeah? Suicide? Annabelle Fredericks? I'll be there in 5 minutes.
I'm right with you, Sheriff. This is more than the paper bargained for. Shouldn't there be powder burns around the wound, Sheriff, if this is a suicide?
Well, there should be. That's why this is no suicide. It's murder.
Murder?
That's right. And I'd like to know where you two fit into the picture. I thought Miss Ada had always lived alone.
Well, I'm Mable Foster, the old dame's niece. She asked me to come live with her 3 weeks ago as a sort of a companion, you know, if you call it.
And Ada had a very strange taste in her choice of companions.
I'm just as good as you are, you money-grubbing...
Break it up, break it up. Now, sir, where do you fit in?
I'm Paul Westcott, a nephew. I came here 3 days ago to discuss some business arrangements at Aunt Ada's suggestion.
Mm-hmm. And what business arrangements were those?
She was changing her will.
Yeah, now I gotta share half and half with this chiseler.
I'm afraid you won't be sharing in any of it now, cousin. Murderers don't inherit.
What are you saying? What are you insinuating, anyway? I was in the kitchen putting on my nail polish on my fingers when I heard the shot.
Well, that's a nice manicure job there, Miss Foster. I always smear mine. I haven't the patience to wait 5 minutes for them to dry, I guess.
Who's this female character?
The reporter. Go on.
Oh, yeah. I was just finishing my left hand when Paul left.
And where did you go?
I went out the side door to the garage. And I couldn't have shot Aunt Ada from the garage.
But I didn't kill her either. I didn't have any reason.
Well, it seems to me you had plenty of reason, Miss Foster. Both of you.
Cousin Mable probably wouldn't wait for me to leave. She would just fool around with her nails, waiting. I wasn't out of the house 3 minutes when I heard the shot. Aunt Mable probably ran in the bedroom, got Aunt Ada's gun from the dresser drawer, and shot her.
Well, now I know who murdered old Ada Fredericks. And it was not Mable. It was you, Paul Westcott.
Do you know how the sheriff figured out that Paul actually murdered her? We'll find out the answer in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor. Constipation can be a problem for anyone. When it occurs, use what a majority of doctors use, X-Lax. Overnight chocolate X-Lax helps you towards your normal regularity. It's so gentle and so close to natural acting, you'll move more smoothly. Try X-Lax today. And now, back to our mystery.
You had to be the killer, Paul. Instead of going to the garage, you opened and slammed the door to make Mable believe you'd gone. Then you tiptoed back into the room and shot your aunt. Mable couldn't have fired the shot because, as the reporter here said, Mabel's fingers have an unusually nice polish job. Any married man would know a woman sits around for at least 5 minutes waving her hands in the air so her polish will dry. But you admitted seeing her put the polish on less than 3 minutes before the shot was fired. Mable couldn't have grabbed the gun out of the dresser and fired it. If she had, her polish would be smeared.
Well, that's what I call having an alibi at the tip of your fingers.
You've been listening to 5-Minute Mystery on KCAL.